Hi guys, I'm Lisa.
And I'm Natasha.
And we were wondering,
are you free for coffee?
Welcome, welcome.
Hello guys. Okay, I have big opinions.
Yes,
I have such big opinions.
Is a good episode.
This is.
Okay, in 2022, the internet uncovered a vast conspiracy. Hollywood was run on an invisible network of family ties, and everyone was in on it. And we're talking about Nepo babies. This is how everyone's related in some kind of way in this town, in the film industry. Okay, so Gwyneth Paltrow commiserated about it with Hailey Bieber, who is the daughter of Stephen Baldwin and the niece of Alec Baldwin. Gwyneth Paltrow's parents are actress Blythe Danner and the late Bruce Paltrow, who was a producer and a director. So they were talking about it on Hailey's YouTube channel. And Gwyneth was saying people are ready to pull you down and say you don't belong there. At 16, Lily Rose Depp, Johnny Depp's daughter, landed her first campaign with Chanel, the same house her mother, Vanessa Paradis, worked with. And I believe her mother is a model.
I think
I'm not familiar with her, but she is. The year before, she'd made her film debut alongside her father, Johnny Depp. In a November Elle magazine profile, she brushed off suggestions that her path had been cleared for her. She said it doesn't make any sense. TikTokers begged Depp to shut up and stop being delusional. Top model Vittoria Soretti wrote, "I have many Nepo baby friends who I respect, but I can't stand listening to you compare yourself to me. I was not born on a comfy, sexy pillow with a view." So, example, Variety magazine allowed Brooklyn Beckham, who is
Victoria and David Beckham's
son, to headline their Young Hollywood issue without ever approaching anything you or I would recognize as a normal job, which was kind of funny to me because he has been my sexiest man alive this week. But he has not, as far as we know, had a job.
A normal
or any job that we can tell. Okay. And also there was the Operation Varsity Blues, which certain celebrities like Lori Loughlin and Felicity Huffman paid people to get their children into prestigious universities.
Right.
So, what do y'all think about this?
Thoughts, opinions.
Okay, first off, there is a ton.
Lisa has like 3 pages, y'all.
There's so many.
She was saying them to me, and I'm like, wait, what?
You don't even realize
how deep it runs.
Mm-hmm. Now, let's define what a Nepo baby is. Their parents are A-list parents. So their parents are, either movie stars or big time directors or producers or some notoriety in the industry. A lot of them have been Golden Globe ambassadors. And to be a Golden Globe ambassador, it's a whole thing. Like it started in 1962, and then they had it where it's somebody's job to give the trophy to the winners and escort them off the stage. So they started giving that role to a celebrity's child. So they kind of vie for that little job because it gets you, you're on the stage, people see you. It's a whole situation. So past ambassadors have been Laura Dern, Sosie Bacon, who is Kevin Bacon and Kira Sedgwick's daughter, Rumor Willis, who's Bruce Willis and Demi Moore, Dakota Johnson. They have all been Golden Globe ambassadors. And they tend to go to certain schools. So Crossroads and Harvard Westlake are 2 schools in the Los Angeles area that prestigious people send their kids to. And I'm sure they're very expensive and it's a whole situation. There's probably waiting lists and all kinds of things, but they can't tend to come out of these
those
schools.
two institutions.
Yes.
Okay.
So here are some Nepo babies. Maybe you knew about them, maybe you didn't. Laura Dern, who's been in Jurassic Park, The White Lotus, Marriage. She's in a lot of stuff. Her parents are Diane Ladd and Bruce Dern, who are both actors. Kiefer Sutherland, who y'all know from 24 and Flatliners. He's in a lot of things. His father is Donald Sutherland, who, when you see him, and he's got a very distinctive voice. His dad does. Gwyneth Paltrow, who we talked about before, her parents, Blythe Danner, and the late director, producer, Bruce Paltrow. Her godfather is Steven Spielberg. Ben Stiller. Both of his parents were very popular comedians, and his dad was on Seinfeld.
Which explains
Seinfeld
why he's so
lovers. Funny. Let me think. Who else? Tracy Ellis Ross, which we forgot about. Her mom is Diana Ross, and her dad is a producer. Kate Hudson. Her mom is Goldie Hawn, and her dad was Bill Hudson from the Hudson Brothers. They used to be it was kind of a precursor to boy bands. He and his brothers had a band. Dakota Johnson, who you know from 50 Shades, and she was recently in Persuasion that was on Netflix. Her parents are Melanie Griffith and Don Johnson from Miami Vice. Her grandmother was Tippi Hedren, who she's still alive. I should say is. The Birds, Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. There's so many, y'all. I can't even, there's a bunch. So I guess some of the question is it nurture or nature? Because they're born to creative people, do they just have like almost a genetic
predisposition to be creatives?
Yes. Or is it because you're around these people that feeds your creative side? So I don't know. We know. Now neither one of us are in that industry, but we both know families who go to a certain profession.
Yes.
Whether they're all lawyers or all physicians, they're all something. Now, whether that is just the bent that they all have, or they just grew up in a family that did that and that was kind of expected. You just do it.
You just fall into it because that's what everyone else did.
So, I think some of it is that, they're both. They have just a genetic bent towards that, and they're around creatives. So that spurs their creativity.
Absolutely. I guess, so this is my honest opinion. And I feel like I'm going to lose some love over this, but I think my opinion has changed with motherhood. There are things that I've had to start from zero, even -10 on some things. And I'm just working my way through them, learning them, making mistakes that are very costly, whatever, what have you. I don't want my kids to do the same thing. I just don't, no matter what that is. So a great example, and this actually just popped in my head. Our kids have an LLC. So you have a business idea, boom, you've already got an LLC. Here you go. Why? Because many of you know that I owned a bakery for over 10 years, and
you had to figure it out.
I had to figure it out.
Yeah.
Blood, sweat, and tears. I had a cupcake that I had mastered, and a local big name bakery was featured in D Magazine. And when I opened it, I got excited because it was my cupcake. It's my picture. I took the picture. I know damn well I baked it. They had stolen my picture. And they used my picture of my red velvet cupcake to promote their red velvet cupcakes, which were not, absolutely no affiliation to me. I got no credit for that. And if I would have known better, I would have had an LLC. I would have, at the very least, had legal shield. So I could have called and said, hey, what can I do about this?
Give me credit.
At the very least. But I was just blindsided. I did not know. And so do I want my kids to have to start from there? No, not at all. So some of it, I understand the sentiment of don't pretend you worked as hard as I did. Okay. But at the end of the day, I just feel like it is what it is. Would you rather these people not help their kids? I mean, come on, seriously.
Yeah.
Because if the shoe were on the other foot, I'm going to be honest, y'all. I'm going to help my kids.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Now, I'm not saying that I'm going to make them entitled or just give them any and everything. But hey, you want to sing? Okay, I know someone who does that. Yeah. You know, if my daughter wants to sing and I know Mariah Carey, I'm not going to not introduce them.
Well, you know, I think there's 2 points. One is I think people are liking it to kind of like racism type thing.
Yes, they are.
Like someone
they are making that
is
comparison.
On third base, and that's not fair because I'm starting, you know,
in the freaking dugout.
First off, there's nothing you can do to legislate this.
No,
this is not a thing.
It's not their fault who their parents
there
are.
is a nepotism thing, you know, after John Kennedy had his brother be attorney general, right. They kind of did something about that. But, you know, there's really nothing you can do about that. And like Natasha said, any parent understands not wanting your child to struggle. But on the other hand, I feel like you do want them to have some sense of purpose. And, you know, you don't want to take away every struggle because there's blessing in the struggle.
I agree.
You know,
I agree.
There is. Now, how much of a struggle is another thing. So I think that was the uproar about it. Like, oh my gosh, these people are all related to other people. And, you know, they didn't get it fairly. And one thing, favor ain't fair.
No.
It's not, or life. It's not. Another thing, you know, you're looking at it from a finite way, like there's only so much. And I don't really believe that. There's enough. There's enough for everybody.
That's right.
So whoever's kid gets a job and you want to do that same thing, there's room for you. There's room for you. Your gift will make room for you.
Yes.
So I look at it a little differently. I do agree with Natasha as a parent, if there's a way that you can, you know, make a path for your kids. I don't know anybody in their right mind that's not going to do it. You're going to do it. You're going to do it. I think too, that if they do a good job, like some of these people, we were both kind of shocked. Oh, I forgot that was his mom.
Listen,
I forgot that was their
Jamie
dad.
Lee Curtis. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, yes, she's a Nepo baby, but she's Jamie Lee freaking Curtis.
Yeah.
She's Jamie Lee Curtis. It is what it is. Like, yes, someone may have held the door open for her. I'm gonna admit that. But you'd be hard pressed to find anyone who would agree with you if your sentiment is, oh, she didn't work for anything. Yeah, freaking right.
Yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis has put in years of work.
And talent.
Yes.
They're just talented.
Yes.
So that goes to the bent. You know, they had the gift.
Yes.
They had the gift. And
that's the other thing.
Fortunate enough to have someone to help them, you know, get in the door.
Yes.
And Natasha and I were both talking about this before. You know, someone can open the door for you, but if you are not talented, you're not going to be able to stay.
You're not going to make it.
You're not.
Yes.
I don't care whose parent you are.
That's
or
true.
Kids, sorry, or who your parents are. So, that's my gauge for it. If when I think of you, I don't think of your parents at all. Like Kate Hudson, I forget that Goldie Hawn is her mom.
Every stinking time I forget.
She's our rom-com queen.
Yeah.
Like I love her in rom-coms. And who else? Who's another one that we don't think of?
Tracee Ellis Ross. I mean, we actually, guys, we didn't even have Tracee Ellis Ross on the list somehow. We forgot until Kennedy, Lisa's youngest daughter, book club Ken, mentioned it. And we were like, oh yeah, because she's very talented.
Yeah. Michael Douglas.
Excuse me, guys.
Michael Douglas.
Wait, what do you mean?
He's a Nepo baby. His dad was Kirk Douglas.
Oh, dang, you're right.
And his mom was an actress. And they were saying that he
Oh, I forgot
acquired
about that.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest from his father. That was a pivotal role for him. His father had the rights because the dad was going to play, had thought about maybe I'll do it. And I guess he gave it or the son bought it. I don't know how the transaction went, but he got it from his father. So, Michael Douglas is awesome. I mean, he looks like the dad, so you kind of remember it from that.
Now that you say
he's amazing.
Yeah.
Josh Brolin.
Yes.
His dad.
There's plenty.
And he's awesome. So, Zoe Kravitz.
Yes.
That's
so y'all going to tell me Zoe Kravitz isn't talented?
We love Zoe.
Okay.
We love Zoe. I really think it's their genetics. I honestly do. I think you just
I'm gonna agree.
Have that bent.
I have extremely creative parents. I did not go to school for anything related to baking. I didn't go to school for anything related to cake artistry, but I've won competitions.
Yeah.
But I have two very creative parents. Like my dad would sew the most immaculate Barbie clothes for me as a child. My dad's sister can look at a picture of a baby and knit a full outfit and it will fit. Like it's surreal. She's never met our youngest. She's never met Ellie. And she sent home this super cute lavender knitted sweater that is so perfect. And she said, it'll fit her in 1 month. I did it in advance because I wanted you to have time to get pictures. Literally, it now fits. I mean, some people, that's just what it is. Like I definitely believe that I have a sense of creativity because of my parents being creative. So if my parents had a bigger platform, it wouldn't take away from my creativity. It would simply mean that they had a bigger platform, for which I could benefit from. And so I feel like if I'm being honest about it, look, I'm going to go for it. I really liken it, Lisa, to people who complain about like, oh, those multimillionaires. But if you woke up and $50 million was in your account, you wouldn't be like, oh, no, I don't want that. Take it back. Yeah. You would be like, let me pay off these little debts I owe, pay my little student loans and live my best life. Okay. Yeah. Let me go vacation where Oprah vacations so I could get a chance to meet her. I look at it in the same way. I mean, the fact that some of these people even look like like Ben Stiller, he resembles his dad to me.
Yeah.
But he's hilarious.
Oh, yeah. In his own, but in his own way. They were comedians in how it's not a coincidence that his thing is comedy.
It's comedy. No.
So you're in that environment. We were talking about, like tiger moms, they're very driven and they want their kids to do lots of things. If a tiger mom adopted you, you would be playing the piano and going to voice lessons and taking math tutoring and you would be doing the thing.
Yes, you would.
And no matter where you came from. So if you're in that environment, you're going to do it. You're going to do what your parents are doing and what you're around and what you're exposed to. So that I think is a lot of it. But having said that, there are one big example of a Nepo baby gone wrong, which is Hannah Gutierrez Reed. Now, you guys have heard all the fuss about this Rust movie where someone was killed on set.
Yes.
With a gun. You know how we feel about guns. So her father is Thel Reed, who is a well-known Hollywood armorer, whose credits include LA Confidential, Miami Vice, Django Unchained. He's done a lot of things. He's very well known.
Y'all know Lisa, stay with the research.
And very well respected. Her dad now. Rust, this movie where this tragedy happened, was Hannah's second film as a head armorer.
Oh, hell.
So she is 24 years old.
Wait, girl, stop.
So do you remember when you were 24? Just saying. Okay.
Oh,
so
no.
Crew members from her first film, The Old Way, have criticized her. Allegedly, Hannah had poor gun safety, and it caused the film's star, Nicolas Cage, to scream at her and storm off set after she fired a gun near the cast and crew for the second time in 3 days without warning.
Holy
so that was on the first film. She was having issues. And
Y'all, excuse me. I'm just sitting here like, oh, snap.
Nicolas Cage reportedly, allegedly screamed out, "Make an announcement. You just blew my effing eardrums out," he yelled before walking off the set.
I ain't even mad at him.
A source recounts that Hannah loaded a gun during production and handed it to a child actor without properly checking the weapon.
Holy shnikey. Okay, yeah.
So this is a Nepo baby situation where
it's
maybe she got the job,
but she ain't need it.
I mean, she clearly
is not the best candidate for this.
No, she's not. But she's comfortable around guns.
Well,
and she's been around it evidently her whole life. But this is where
comfortable does not
right. Well, and ability versus responsibility.
Yeah.
Now she might have the ability to do it, but at 24, is she responsible enough? And the thing that differentiates someone my age from a 24-year-old is that I know shit can go down.
Yes.
At 24,
so I'm going to double check.
You know, I didn't know. My mama used to, y'all remember this? My mama told me as a teenager, they got a casket down there at the funeral home that will fit your ass, your dumb ass. So I got told, but do you really know it? At 16,
no.
18, 21,
and at
24,
no.
Nothing's going to happen to me. Nothing's going to happen. You just feel like you're invincible.
And that's really scary because you know what? Nothing happened to her, but someone else's child is dead.
Right.
Like so I don't want you to think I was laughing in that regard. That wasn't it. I was laughing in my head thinking, oh shit.
Like who did this?
Like
who at what
where
point
was the grown up in the room?
Right.
Like this makes no sense.
This was a good idea.
But I will say this. And I do wish that this had come about in a way where no one passed away, obviously. But I'm going to say she's probably not going to stay in that career for too long. No. Yes, somebody opened the door. But going forward, people are going to see that name and they are not going to want that liability. Right. And so she's not going to stay in that for very long, which still proves the point that, yes, someone could open the door. I'm going to admit that. But your talent is either going to make a way or it's not. Right. It either is or it's not.
That's the difference between this type of job and what these.
Ooh, that's true.
These celebrities, nobody's gonna die. You know, either they might make a bomb of a movie.
Yeah, the movie may
get
suck,
bad
but
reviews,
that's it.
But you know, and they might fade away, but no harm, no foul.
Because I wish y'all could see my face.
But the same token,
I'm sitting here like
we're talking about these people. Wow. There was somebody on Instagram or TikTok the other day of a whole family of doctors. The parents are doctors.
Oh my gosh,
they had twins.
They had twins, and they were married to doctors.
Then they married. I mean, just everybody. The cousin of the auntie, somebody, the whole family.
It was literally everyone.
So, but the difference in those professions, you need a license. You have to go to school.
Yeah.
You know. Somebody has to credential you.
And to do certain things, you have to have insurance.
So you can have the bent, but you still need some other things behind it. Now with this, I would argue, I can't think of a 24-year-old that I would give this job to. I don't give a damn how many guns you've been around and all that. Just because of that mentality. And she can't help it. You can't help it. No. At 24, you just don't know. You haven't had the experience of shit happening.
Right.
The bottom can freaking fall out.
And you're just not, mentally, you don't know that. You know, even as someone who, I would say one of our similarities would be probably being raised around guns. I mean, I got a gun for my 4th birthday.
Your similarities with this girl.
Girl, you know, I'm still going to say that at 24, I was pretty hot-headed. I was hot-headed. I know damn well I thought I was invincible. I was just talking to my mom about like working out outdoors and how I would just go like on long walks. Like I love walking, y'all. Like I'm not really a runner. My sister's an avid runner, but I love walking. I would just walk like, oh, this trail looks nice. Like, yeah, that doesn't scream fucking being murdered, Natasha. Yeah. Like, you know, but
serial
killer. I mean, guys, with headphones, I mean, those big Sony bulky headphones, like it's clear I don't hear you sneaking up on me, but you're 24 and you're not even thinking about that.
That's
mortality is not at the center or at the forefront of your brain. And so I just don't think that's a smart position to put someone in.
No, I agree.
When they
I don't know
don't have a healthy
24-year-old
respect for life.
that could have done it.
No.
Like mentally.
No.
I'm not saying that there's not one that
Maybe.
exists.
Maybe
I
if she
don't
had
know
like
anybody.
military training, that would be but this is obviously not it.
No.
This is not it.
Because that's kind of one of those things, like measure twice, cut once.
Yes.
You would check the gun again, check the gun again, and she was
let's just hand this to a kid.
Just reading that account, it's like, okay, that was missing.
My gosh. Yeah.
And I mean, there's just a lot of red flags with that. So that's a Nepo baby gone wrong.
Yeah, that's a good example.
The others, if you do something illegal, like the Varsity Blues situation, that's problematic. But the other things, I really don't have a big problem with it.
I guess my thing with the Varsity Blues, where I feel like it's different. It is different because you sat here and tried to pay somebody.
Yeah,
and that's not the same to me as saying, oh, hey, this is my niece, Kennedy. Ironically, that is my niece's name. And she wants to start a podcast. Lisa, can I introduce you to her? To me, that is different. Yes, that's opening the door for her. Absolutely. But that's not the same as, hey, let me slide you some money.
Right.
Anytime you got to slide some money, you paying for something. And that's different to me.
And my thing with that is, if you're going to slide some money, build a library.
Hello.
Build a building. They've done that for years. And the kids
buy
get
a few fucking benches on campus. Right. And there you go.
And then the thing with that,
your gym needs new treadmills? Here you go.
People benefit.
Yes.
The whole school benefits, and not just your kid.
Not just your kid.
Right. So, but
which just proves they weren't that smart to begin with.
Right.
Because, hello.
But the thing is, though, you wonder, is that type of thinking, did that spill over into that? Like, they're so used to doing that.
Yeah.
That's kind of
I'm going to agree with you.
I see the thread of it.
I'm going to agree. I'm going to totally agree.
I don't really have a problem with it. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and just really believe that these kids just, that's the way they're going to lean.
Yeah.
That's what they want to do. Their parents are in it. I don't have a problem with that. I would say as a parent that you would leave something on the trail for them to overcome.
To have to overcome. Yeah. I
just
agree.
Because that's life, and there's benefit to that.
Yeah.
Y'all hear Nelson.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You do want to teach them to fish.
Right.
For sure.
Right.
For sure.
Right.
But I mean, I'm just telling y'all truth about me. I'm going to tell you, hey, Scarlett wants to do this.
Yeah.
And here we go.
It got to be a thing on the internet,
It did.
so we just wanted to talk about it. But as parents, we get it. But
yeah, I'd kind of be lying, guys, if I said I didn't.
99% of them are talented.
That's the thing.
That I really can't say anything.
Tell me what's wrong with Tracy Ellis Ross. You can't find a damn thing.
There wasn't anybody on the list that I went,
ooh, well, you didn't deserve to be there. Yeah, I agree.
I'm cool with it.
I am too.
Cool, so.
I'd be a liar if I said I wouldn't do something similar. Yeah. So it is what it is.
Up next, our picks for the sexiest man alive this week. But first, a message from our sponsor.
During hard times, it can get really difficult if you don't have anyone to talk to. Being alone with your thoughts can be an isolating feeling that can allow negativity to consume you.
This is why we are sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to.
There is a broad range of expertise in BetterHelp's 20,000 plus therapist network that gives you access to help that may not be available in your area. You just fill out a questionnaire to help assess your specific needs, and then you get matched with the therapist in under 48 hours.
Then you schedule secure video and phone sessions. Plus, you can exchange unlimited messages, and everything you share is completely confidential. You can request a new therapist at no additional charge anytime.
Join the 2 million plus people who have taken charge of their mental health with an experienced BetterHelp therapist. So many people use BetterHelp that they are currently recruiting additional therapists in all 50 states.
Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/free for coffee. That's betterhelp.com/free for coffee.
Okay, I am happy to be coming back with someone who is not tattooed and not a musician
Out of her lane.
and not an athlete, but a longtime crush, like since I was a kid crush. And it's going to be Ben Stiller.
Oh,
I remember watching Zoolander, which, I mean, that's just one of like the gazillion things. But I remember watching Zoolander and I was like, oh, I like this guy.
he's a cutie.
He's funny.
He is such a cutie.
He's funny.
She loves, that's your lane.
Damn it.
Though.
Yes. No. When I said it, I was
comedians.
like, you're right. You're
she
right.
Does.
You're right.
She loves comedians.
Yeah. That's all you have to be for me. It's funny, honestly.
The humor fixes a lot of stuff.
It does.
I'm going to go with Josh Brolin, who is a Nepo baby also, as is Ben Stiller.
Mm-hmm.
But they both deserve to be where they are.
Where they are, yeah.
Josh Brolin's dad is Jim Brolin, who is married to Barbara Streisand, who is Josh's stepmom.
Oh, wow, you're right. They are married.
Yes. So that's his stepmom.
Dang.
And you see her online sometimes with the grandkids, with his kids, you know.
Golly. Okay. See?
Yeah, see?
And it's interesting because it really is. It's so woven together, but you just don't.
Yeah.
You don't.
But there's
think
room
about
for you.
There is.
We're going to encourage you. If you are one of these people that, you know, my parents weren't in that industry, but I'm very creative and I want to be a singer, a dancer.
Your talent can make a way for you.
Actor, you can do it.
And what is yours is yours, baby.
Right. Nobody can take it from you.
Yeah.
And there's plenty to go
There's plenty, honey. And I think if you go forward with the mentality of, oh, well, these people took it all, then why would you ever expect it to show up in your life? But if you go forward and you're like, there's room for me.
Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry. There's so many people that grew up with no advantage,
absolute disadvantages.
Nobody Viola Davis paving a way for them, and they made it. So you can too.
Exactly. I totally agree.
Be encouraged.
Yes. Okay, loves. Thanks for pulling up a chair and joining us for coffee. Please subscribe to Are You Free for Coffee podcast wherever you are listening. We hope that you enjoyed today's episode and find joy in the little things. Until next time.
Part of the Boundless Audio Podcast Network.